So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the EU publishing proposals to simplify the Northern Ireland Protocol. So it's important to note that the UK has rejected these proposals, which we'll talk about in a separate video, but kind of what the EU's angle is, I suppose, and trying to work within the protocol, regardless of getting an SPS agreement. So most of the stuff here isn't that like groundbreaking or anything. I suppose the main issues are to do with the SPS agreement or the lack of SPS agreement. But I thought it would just be interesting just to read through this article quickly and just to see what's up. So the EU has published its proposals for simplifying some aspects of the Northern Ireland Protocol. They include a plan for ensuring the continued supply of medicines from Great Britain to Northern Ireland. So this was a thing that the UK kept talking about, which was like, oh, we can't get life-saving medicines from GB to NI. And, you know, the EU saying if they're important medicines, like you can export them, like there's no problem. There are other issues like with certain pharmaceutical companies saying that it's very difficult for them to export from GB to NI. So I can see more of a moving of supply chains, and if you haven't done so already, like hurry up, like what are you waiting for? The UK government says the plans do not go far enough, which, you know, obviously they do, despite the fact that the protocol was agreed by this current government and has only been implemented for about 8 months. So it does show you how stupid this government are. The Northern Ireland Protocol was agreed by the UK and the EU to avoid a hard border in Ireland, which actually worked. You know, the Northern Ireland Protocol did what it should have done. The EU Commission has published 2 papers, one of which concerns animals and food. It covers guide dogs, tagging of livestock, taking animals to agricultural shows in Great Britain, and permitting the re-import of EU food products which have been stored in Great Britain. So if we look at these, the guide dogs one, that was an amendment proposed a few months ago. The tagging of livestock, that's relatively new. Taking animals to agricultural shows, that one's new, I think. Permitting of the re-import of EU food products which have been stored in the UK. Now this one's an issue because you don't know if things are going to be changed whilst they're stored here, or if there's any funny business that's going to happen. Most likely it wouldn't, but you never know. But this one's an interesting one from the EU. So no agreement on a solution. The EU and the UK agree that the protocol is not working perfectly, and this is where you get a problem, which is what the UK do in their framing is they'll take a bit that the EU and the UK or the US and the UK agree with and they spin it. So like, we both agree the protocol is not working properly and this is the reason why, and they'll come out with the nonsense of like, oh, you know, because we can't export, you know, chilled meats and stuff like that, which is something obviously the EU disagrees with. And so that's kind of the way the spin merchants are working and have done for a while. So just be careful of that. But they have different ideas of the way to fix it, of course. The EU has a 2-pronged approach. Firstly, to crunch through the issues using the existing mechanism of the protocol in an attempt to find technical improvements, which is the right approach because you have an agreement. There are mechanisms for making changes within the agreement, certain changes. So you have to stick with what has been agreed. Otherwise, all international agreements are pointless at that stage. Like, why make an agreement if you're just going to break it straight away? And why would you subsequently make an agreement with another country if they're just going to break it? Like, it's pointless. Secondly, to offer the UK a Swiss-style agri-food agreement which would eliminate most GB to NI checks, which is something the UK keeps saying no to. The UK has rejected both of these approaches and suggested a fundamental renegotiation. So what the UK is saying, we're not going to find a solution within the Northern Ireland Protocol agreement, and we're not going for a Swiss-style agreement. So when, you know, countries keep asking the UK to show goodwill, we're showing none of that. In fact, we're showing the opposite. This stuff here, relatively boring and like very, I think they've included some of this stuff just to say we are doing something, like stop blaming us when the problem is you. Because if you look here, currently the way the protocol operates means that Northern Ireland animals which are taken to GB for agricultural shows are required to stay there for 6 months before they can be brought home. I mean, how many people are actually impacted by this? I mean, I know nothing about agricultural shows, but this just seems a bit silly. Like, why is this a thing, and how many people are impacted by it, or should I say how many farmers are impacted by this? The EU proposal would remove the requirement so long as the animals were not staying in Great Britain for more than 15 days and other animal health precautions are adhered to, which I don't think, well, they probably have included in their report, the BBC just haven't included them. The EU also said that guide dogs can benefit from an existing flexibility in EU law, but it needs a proposal from the UK how to put that into operation. So what the EU are saying here is, look, we have given you this proposal about guide dogs. You need to tell us how it's going to work, and then we'll go from there. how you intend for this thing to work. So again, this is a much more important thing, I think, because guide dogs are really important to people who are visually impaired or fully blind. So this one's fine. It's not going to impact, I don't think, a ton of people, but this is a good one. This other one here, I don't know how many people that's going to impact. I really don't. The second paper concerns the movement of medicines, which again, has been very politicized by certain people. From Great Britain to Northern Ireland. The protocol means Northern Ireland is still in the EU's pharmaceutical regulatory system, unlike GB. So here you have the problem of two different regulatory frameworks. The EU's one, which is governing Northern Ireland, and obviously GB's one. And the reason why you want to be wary of importing pharmaceuticals from another country is they might not have the same standards as your current country or organisation, whatever you want to define it as, especially since the UK is looking at deregulation. There's no guarantee the UK is going to do any deregulations around pharmaceuticals, but I wouldn't put it past this current government. So that's why the EU are wary of this. And obviously you've got the problem of sort of GB drugs moving from, drugs as in medicines of course, moving from NI to Ireland, which could be an issue. So Northern Ireland gets most of its medicines from distributors in Great Britain. Again, that's something that will probably have to change, given that other countries like France are manufacturers of pharmaceuticals. So maybe that you have a massive supply chain shift where medicines from France will be imported into Northern Ireland instead of medicines from Great Britain. However, this is due to become more difficult and expensive in January when a grace period ends. So, the UK did agree to all of these grace periods. The EU did offer more time. That was apparently on the government website at some point, according to Lisa O'Carroll, who's someone I hold in high regard. So the UK were okay with these grace periods. Now they're moaning about them. Shocker. This has led to some manufacturers to say it will no longer be commercially possible for them to sell some medicines in Northern Ireland because of the extra check. So at that point, if you're an importer of pharmaceuticals in Northern Ireland, you have to start looking at alternative supply chains now. You should have done this about a year ago, to be honest, but you have to start it now. We've already seen the supermarket struggle because they didn't heed the warnings of trade experts. So start listening if you're an importer of pharmaceuticals in Northern Ireland. Come on guys, it's time. The Commission now accepts that there is a problem, stating it is proving too costly for certain operators currently based in Great Britain to move relevant regulatory compliance functions to Northern Ireland or the EU in respect of UK national authorised products for Northern Ireland as required by the protocol. So what they're saying is that UK pharmaceutical companies have been too slow to move certain operations from GB to, say, NI or any other EU country. Again, this is not the fault necessarily of the EU. This is more a fault of the British government, who's saying nothing will change and all this stuff. And then these pharmaceutical companies and these supermarkets believed the government when they should definitely not have done, and this is one of the reasons why we're having problems. And this is something the House of Lords has been very critical of as well, which I think again we'll discuss in a separate video. Is now proposing that those compliance functions can continue to be performed in Great Britain with certain conditions, including labelling and enhanced enforcement. Again, this is going to be very difficult to do because unless you put a really sticky, very strong tab that says this is to be sold within Northern Ireland only, this stuff can be moved across, to Ireland and then into the EU. So that's an issue there. Will it happen a lot? Smuggling? Probably not, but it just depends. If there are issues around getting medicines, say for example if GB has certain medicines that the rest of the EU can't get a hold of for whatever reason, that's when smuggling will probably happen. But again, that's something I can't really confirm at the moment. It's not my area of expertise. The UK's Brexit Minister, the Iceman, has previously expressed scepticism about the medicines plan, suggesting it was too complicated. I mean, probably for a simpleton like yourself, it would be too complicated. But again, this is Frost's ploy at getting a renegotiation, which is probably not going to happen unless the the Stormont, I think it is, rejects the Northern Ireland Protocol in a few years' time, in say 2024, then there's a possibility of a renegotiation happening. But until then, that's not going to happen. He's saying we need comprehensive and durable solutions if we are to avoid further disruption to everyday lives in Northern Ireland, they added. So that's the government saying that. And the thing is, right, if you wanted to do that, you could easily do that. You're choosing not to, so that's on you guys. I'm not going to blame the EU for that one. So yeah, this is the EU's kind of aim at simplifying. I think specifically they're looking at medicine. So they want to simplify medicines. That's a key goal of theirs, which they're going to do. I think they're going to change the EU rules around it to make that happen, which is fine. They're going to, that's a problem the EU are facing. So they're showing some goodwill in doing that with the meats and things like that. I don't think the EU will compromise this, get a Swiss style agreement or get lost. I can see that happening. And with some of the other stuff mentioned, like with the agricultural shows, that seems like a minor thing. Like the EU are looking like they're doing something without really doing much. They're saying like, look, we're going to simplify the protocol and make it easier for you guys. We don't need a renegotiation. And Britain's like, nah, bro, we need a renegotiation. Like nothing else is going to work. So yeah. Anyways, not the greatest set of proposals from the EU, I suppose. But the main issue, if the key issues are medicines and agriculture, the EU are at least trying to solve the issue around medicines. They've got about 4 or 5 months to do so before the January grace period ends. Also, they could have an extension on there to figure out something new. So the EU has options here because they could easily extend it if they wanted to. Key point being is that these proposals aren't going to resolve any meat issues, but then again, with the meats and stuff like that, that's something that supermarkets will have to figure out. Ireland produces a lot of meat, Northern Ireland produces a lot of meat and things like that, agri-foods. So that's up to the people of Northern Ireland, the people of Ireland, and the EU to figure out. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.